All right, let's do it live on a Football Friday edition of the program. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. How you living, buddy?
Am I on?
You're on.
Woo!
There you go. There you go.
I'm doing just fine. How are you, brother? I miss you.
Yeah,
I miss
60
you.
degrees, and I'm here, not in the same room. We have chaos. We've got Beamsy is playing in youth basketball tournament all morning, and NBC is getting the cast.
Man.
And so Bootsy is left to run amok.
What color is he going with?
Didn't even discuss it. Didn't even discuss it. Didn't discuss cast color. Is there what would you recommend? Have you ever broken a limb?
Very fortunate. Never been in a cast. No.
Me
I've broken
either.
my nose, but never anything that needed a cast.
Never anything that needed a cast. Gibbe?
What do you make that look for, Gibbe?
I'll be nice. Nothing.
I'm not even here. I'm not even there. And you
'Cause I have
still warring?
I mean, everybody with eyes knows that I've got a big nose. I'm fine with it. It hasn't hindered my life.
You're fine.
You know what else it means? Big brain.
That's right.
A lot of
what they say.
Kleenex.
That's what they say.
That's what they
Gibbe,
say.
Any broken things for you?
I've broken a lot of stuff, but not. I don't think anything that actually required a cast, like stress fractures, or I've been in a boot or ankle. I've never actually
It doesn't
broken.
count.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever broken something that required a cast. I have a collarbone that I bent playing tackle football. Like if you look at me, if my shirt's off, it goes out and comes back in. My collarbone is literally. The doc was
Less
like,
than
"Look,
ideal.
we can do one of two things. Nothing's ever going to happen to it, or two, we can break it and reset it." I go, "Why would I do that? Why would I want you to break it if nothing? Like if it just looks weird? I'm already weird looking. I'm fine. It'll just blend in."
My favorite thing, I think it's amazing your feet turn the way that they do.
That's nuts. Your knees have to be broken.
That's wild. Like the knee situation is wild.
Yeah. That's craziness. No, I think maybe a black
so-
cast or a Hudson blue.
Yeah, maybe a nice navy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you want something that people do. I wonder if the kids still get them signed.
Yeah, probably. Why not?
Cast.
By the way, great observation from Enough from the Clown. He goes, Gibbe's nose seems small relative to his body.
I'm public school, man. Like you're fine. I'm not.
Oh man!
Congratulations, clown. Come up with something better. I expect more from you.
Jeez Louise.
Fellas, it's 50 today.
Yeah, it's great.
It's 50. It is 50 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be 60 degrees.
Might be playing
When does
golf
the rain
tomorrow.
come? Yeah, you could. You could get your December golf round in.
Yes.
It'd
The
be
courses
sloppy.
are opening.
Yeah, you'd have to wear like some hunter wading boots, but
It's fine.
you could do it. Be a lot of plug and play.
Yeah.
I got some golf balls to get rid of.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
you
say
could
you're
get your
gonna
December
lose
round in.
plenty.
Be a bag
it's gonna be
detox
just-
day.
It's true.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of them subterranean.
Yeah, there is going to. When does the rain start? What do we got for Sunday? Is it just gross? Just rain all day?
I mean,
I know we'll do that later.
48 hours out, like the whole morning is like 90% chance of rain. But it's like 60 degrees.
Crazy.
So I'm
It's not that different from Miami.
It's basically gonna rain, Bo. In case you're wondering, it's gonna rain Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it will turn into snow Thursday and Friday.
That's when it's going to be really fun. When it flips to snow, that's where the joy is going to come. When you have the ice underneath and then snow on top, that's going to be awesome.
You just need a strong nor'easter wind to kind of like dry it out or give you the best chance to dry that moisture out before it freezes.
Can you guys wrap your head around this is our last home game?
It's our last Friday of 2024.
Also
How about that?
Also true.
true.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some snow even on Wednesday. Maybe on the New Year's on the New Year's Day. Yeah, it's wild. It's a season. It's weird. This season, in some ways, has felt quick, and in other ways, has felt incredibly, incredibly, incredibly long. And for us, obviously, now you're just playing out the string, as they like to say, and that's not the most fun place to be for a football team, unfortunately.
No. As we were going off the air yesterday, everything's going together with me because of the football in the middle of the week. I didn't know what day it was. The boys didn't know what day. Like, what day of the week is today? That's what they asked me today when they got up. What day of the week is? I got Beamsy had hoops at 8:45 in the morning, which is ideal on a Friday. And we ran out, and he's like, Dad, I don't even know what day it is. I said, I'm pretty sure it's Friday, bud.
Yeah,
I think it is. But I was really thrown off by that football in the middle of the week. And so, yeah, the calendar's a little backwards. All of those things are a little backwards. I wanted to run something by you. A dog of a game last night. Just awful, gross game. We'll get into the ratings and stuff a little bit later.
Sure.
The NFL, I think, had a perfect amount of games at 16 and a perfect amount of weeks at 17. The NFL used to stay away from middle of week games. And I think of the midweek games we saw this week. There was one good half of football. That's it. It was a lot of bad ball. It really was.
The Ravens weren't bad. The Ravens played a
but
great
it was
game.
Bad ball. The games were bad. Mm-hmm. One team was engaged, the other was not. That's it. We're good. We'll see on down the road. And the more I think about it is, and wait till we do like the scores. I mean, last week was brutal bad games on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's like 1 or 2 or 3 games. And in the old days with a 16-game schedule and a 17 weeks, you maybe had 1 week that was kind of like this. But now we got 2. You got 2 weeks where there's 2 or 3 games to pay attention to, and everybody else is just kind of playing it out. And you don't know where the effort is. Look, everyone is going to clamor to the NFL. The ratings are going to be huge. I understand that. But in terms of quality of play and oversaturation, is this league doing too much?
No, it's not. It just, unfortunately, there's just some bad ball right now. Last night was bad. But, I mean, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, Houston, those are 4 playoff teams. Those are 4 of the top 5 seeds in the AFC. I mean, that's just what happened.
One good half of football.
Baltimore looked Baltimore dominated Houston. Like, I guess, and you're saying a good game is a competitive game. Last night's was a competitive game. It was a 3-point game, but it sucked. It was terrible. It was awful. I mean, Seattle gives up 3 points and doesn't even cover. Like, give me a break. By the way, great. Just want to say congratulations to Bowens on his AFFL championship. I mean, you talk about it. I'd been back-to-back weeks of $150, and I said to my partner soon, I said, it's not good to be the highest scoring team in the first round and second round of the playoffs. Not good. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba has been a monster. 3 catches for 30 yards. Kaim Fairbairn is a top 5 kicker all year, doesn't get a point. Nico does nothing against the Ravens in a game where they're getting blown out. That's supposed to be a stat accumulation game in the second half. They play prevent, and you keep your stars out there, and you get them a 200-yard game or something. So that's a bummer. But, yeah, last night, dreadful. And the crazy thing is, the Bears scored 3 points, and Caleb Williams made some of the most unbelievable throws I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had that at the beginning where he was concerned in terms of they should have reset that thing,
of course,
completely when they drafted him. It was really stupid to not do that. They had opportunity. Now, basically, they did a Trevor Lawrence. They basically wasted a year of him. And you hope it didn't do permanent damage to him.
Right.
That it didn't make him, maybe he never comes out of it, because that stuff's in play. I don't know. I think it's bad. It was a lot of bad ball. I think last Sunday was a lot of bad ball. I thought the one good half of football is kind of what you got. You're right. Baltimore dominated, but there's a lot of teams that are out of it and have been out of it for a while.
I just think
there's a lot of teams that are just playing it out.
9 teams
some of these
with
games this weekend just
are
suck.
terrible.
Yeah, 9 teams with 4 wins or less.
Here's the thing.
Here's the other part of it. And we started this a little bit with what we did with our rebuild. We were the first ones that kind of did it that way, that said, hey, if we're not going to win, I'm talking about 15, 16 that time. If you're not going to be in the playoffs, then there's no point in being 6 and 10 in those days.
Yep.
There's no value in it.
There's no value really being in
a
9 and 7 team.
Right. Go all the way in and be bad and draft at the top and roll the dice at the top of the draft. And that's something that you didn't used to see a whole lot in this league. There'd be 1 or 2 teams that would do it. But remember, I talked about this all the way back in August. How many teams could off-ramp to a tank? how many teams have done? How many teams could look at a season and go, "This ain't going right"? Like the Giants perfectly executed this.
Yep.
The Raiders perfectly executed this until they didn't. They won one game they shouldn't have won. But there's a lot of examples of these teams. I mean, Jacksonville, the Titans, that are like, you know what? This isn't going right. Let's get out of this thing. And that's what I think's happened.
Yes, to a certain degree, I would say so. I mean, Jacksonville had a Trevor Lawrence injury, and they just weren't good anyway. Titans, yeah, for sure. Raiders, 100% for sure.
Giants, for sure.
The Jets certainly were not tanking. The Patriots certainly are not tanking. They're just
bad.
Not winning. Giants, absolutely.
Bad.
Bears are not tanking. I don't even think the Panthers are tanking. I don't think the Saints are tanking. I mean, that's really they're only.
Some are just bad ball.
I
the
think
Saints might be tanking.
Maybe they still won 5 games.
They off-roaded pretty quickly too, though.
Well,
I mean,
Carr's hurt. Well, now Carr's hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think
you just went over a bunch of bad teams, though.
Just bad, but I mean
bad teams.
The Jets weren't supposed to be bad.
No,
they just are.
It also contributes. I think bad is exacerbated when you do it on short rest. Then I think it's even worse. And then I also think on short rest, what happens is once a game starts going south, it's kind of like, all right, well, let's see you next week.
And the weird thing is we played our best game on Thursday, one of our best games on a Thursday night on a short week, and we were very much out of it at that point.
We're an anomaly this year in about every way. We beat Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Yep. And we lost to the Raiders. We lost to a bunch of
the
bad Giants.
Teams, beat 2 really good ones.
We lost to the Raiders and the Giants. Yeah.
Yeah, strange.
I mean, we got swept by the NFC East.
Should have watched Bowling Green and Arkansas State last night. And the number 1 tight end in the country.
He had a big game.
Didn't he break the record?
Yeah, he did.
He had a big game.
Somehow he didn't win the Mackey Award. He wasn't good enough to win the Mackey Award, but
they gave it to the kid from Penn State, right?
Yeah. Garbage. Yeah. Because he threw a pass. He's run for 4 touchdowns. But Fannin was way better than him in every category from a receiving standpoint. And he led FBS in receptions and yards.
Is he a senior, Gibbe?
Yeah. Last night, if you missed it, 17 catches for 213 and a touch.
Jeez.
That's right, baby.
It's pretty good.
No, their defense was trash, but that happens.
Arkansas State won, right?
Yes, 38-31. Hey, shout out to the bowl group that decided let's start the game in Mobile, Alabama at 9:05 p.m. That's right. God. That made for a long night. Come on.
I find, I think that sports in general across the board, like what they've done, it's about TV product. It's not about anything else. It's about making black go away on television. And so that's why they play a 9:00 game for Mobile, Alabama. That's why it's there. But it's a lot, man.
It is.
It's a lot. And it's a lot on players. It's a lot on fan bases. You're going to see it in the college football playoff next week with this notion that, teams are going to fly and travel to Southern California and then a week later go to Dallas.
Well,
there's so much money around, man.
Well, I was watching yesterday, the Toledo Pitt game was unreal. Anarella, right. What happened to your Panthers?
Wasn't that like an 8-hour game?
6 overtimes. They were still playing as we went on the air for the Stefanski show. And when I left the building last night at 5:30, there was 4 minutes to go in regulation. It was crazy. But, they recapped, both teams stay in Detroit. Both teams got there Sunday. Toledo's, 25 minutes from home. Pitt,
right.
They've been there for 4 days.
Here's what this is, though, and the same thing is going on with Ohio State. Ohio State arrives in Southern California tomorrow for a game that will not be played until next Wednesday. So this is how backwards that sport still is. They are still bending the knee to bowls.
Yep.
Okay? And so the Rose Bowl has to play at 5 o'clock.
Correct.
It has to have the parade. They got to have 16 media availabilities. They got to take the football team to the steakhouse that they always take them to. They got to do all that crap. And the reality is the game, it's not even the next. Then it's not like if they win that, they're going to go play for a national title. They get 2 more. So, and the reason that they kowtow to them is because those guys are lobbyists, and they've been lobbying athletic directors for 50 years with suites at 5-star resorts and all comped food and all of that stuff. You guys have, well, you probably haven't, but if you go to a college football game in the last 25 years, any one of them at Ohio State, you'd always see the yellow jackets from the Fiesta Bowl, the orange jackets from the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl folks. They were all there. And what were they there to do? To say, please come to our bowl and bring your fans. That's what it's all about.
Because they travel exceptionally well.
Even though there's a playoff, they're still trying to act like this is the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl.
Right.
It's not the Rose Bowl. It's a quarterfinal. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
The bowl system is so silly and outdated, and other than the fact that it's a reward and maybe a cool trip for the kids, there's no, I mean, the games, he's got one on now.
I'm watching Oklahoma Navy. Punter for Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner just shanked it 20 yards.
What's the score in that one?
14-7 Oklahoma, 2:41 to go in the second.
All right,
and
go
every
Navy.
one of these games is shot as tight as possible, because if you branch out, you're going to see nothing but empty seats.
That's what I'm saying. There's nobody
But it doesn't matter because it's really just about television. It's about there's a spot of television that ESPN has that they've got to put something in to make, otherwise it's black space.
Yep.
And that's all it is make that go away. So, yeah, I just noticed it in the last week. Like, there's been so much stuff that doesn't make sense where it's being aired. And the numbers were really good on Christmas on Netflix. I think they were 24, what were they, 24-1 and 24-3 for the 2 games on Netflix. The NBA numbers were quite a bit down. They were up from last year. The big one was Lakers and Warriors, I think, was 7.7, which is pretty good for NBA, honestly, at this stage in the game. That's about where they're at. But $24 million for the 2 NFL games on Netflix. So, look, the numbers are there, and they're going to continue to do it. It's just a lot that is on athletes to play short weeks and to do all of this stuff over and over again.
And you're putting these, quote, marquee games on a Wednesday. What do you have left to pick from by the time you get to Sunday? I mean, there's only 2 games.
The good news is this
is
not going to happen again for a long time. Christmas Day is not going to be on a Wednesday for a long time.
They're going to play 3 next year on Christmas Day.
Yeah, they'll play 3.
But that'll be, at least it's a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. A Wednesday is, well, it's too much. Thursday's at least it's an NFL
day.
Yeah.
Again, we had the conversation yesterday. The Chiefs don't play now for 24 days.
Oh, gosh, right.
Well, I mean, your starters might not play for 24 days. They have one more game, but
3 weeks.
Who's playing in it?
Yeah. The other thing that always gets me is and maybe the YouTube TV is easier for you guys to bounce back and forth, but so I watched, I was watching the first half of the Bears-Seahawks game last night, and then it was just, I'm like, all right, I'm not wasting any more time on this. And I got it to halftime, and I bounced out, and then I didn't ever go back to it.
No.
At that point, I never went back. Because once I leave the Amazon portal, I'm out at that point. I don't ever check back in on it.
That's my problem. Like, I was watching BG on ESPN, and, I'd have to leave and go to the Amazon.
Guys.
YouTube TV, can
you
guys
bounce? Right, but I'm just right now. You guys sound like you're 100 years old. If you want to have it on the side, your phone is a television now. You can just put the game on your phone. That's what I did, and if it got interesting, I'd go back to the TV. It's so easy. Or put an iPad there.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Or a second screen doing there. Anything.
I like being locked in on one thing.
Right. I'm saying if you're flipping back and forth, you're not locked in on anything.
Well, no, you can bounce around. Bounce around a little
multiple
bit.
things.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me, it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. All right, go ahead. Give me your injury report. What do you make of it?
We'll get the final one in about 15 minutes, but no Njoku, no Oba Okoronkwo today at practice.
So I would expect neither of them to play then.
From the Dolphins side of things, Jalen Waddle trending towards a questionable tag for Sunday per reports down there. Mike McDaniel feels optimistic about his chances to play. Jordan Poyer will practice today, former Browns safety. Former Browns linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. out for Sunday in the return trip to
That's a bummer.
CLE.
I hope he travels. I'd love to see him.
You've known Joel Bitonio a long time. What did you make of yesterday?
I was talking with the half about it as well. I think he said the farther it gets from the end of the season with no announcement, the better the chances that he comes back. But if he says something right away, maybe he'll wait and see what we do at, various positions. Obviously, quarterback, what our plan is at that position will be important, and maybe he'll come back. But he said that if he says something quickly thereafter, that's it.
Yeah. 11 years, right? Same as Hoff.
Yeah.
What does he have left on his contract? A year? 2 years? I mean, he has been an iron horse this year. Like, he was dinged up. When we were at the Greenbrier, he was dinged up, it felt like. And he's played through everything.
I don't know about. I like an iron horse though. Let's see what it says.
He's battled every week.
He's a complete pro. I mean, he was before he missed that Niners game coming out of the bye a year ago.
Yeah.
He was, on his way to doing a, Hoff-like streak. So he's got next year. He would be $14 million. There's a $6 million option, $3 million roster bonus, the restructure $2 million, signing $2 million, and the base salary would be $1.25. And then he's got void years in 26, 27, 28, and 29.
I was curious to see what.
If he retires, obviously, then none of it matters because that eliminates everybody of everything. If not, for example, if he were to go somewhere else, they would still owe about $28 million in dead cap if he left after 24. But he's not going anywhere. He's playing for the Cleveland Browns.
No, he wants to stay here.
Of course, and the Browns want him to stay here.
His he's had I guess you figured like the mortality of everybody comes, but
yep.
He's probably right on the edge of Brown's circle of fame at this point.
Yeah.
And outside looking in on Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah, I think certainly in the discussion, I think that he's, 6-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, couple-time first-team All-Pro. He probably is going to be a Pro Bowler again this year. He's been very, very he's great, and you could always count on him. I mean, that was kind of, like the Hoff. Joel Bitonio was somebody you could always count on and to play at a very high level and to be available for your team through injury, through a great many things, and he was very, very good. He is very, very good. I would be obviously sad that kind of, you think about our one playoff win, he missed that with COVID. That would be very, very.
That's right. Yeah.
That would be so sad to me for him. Tremendous, great player, great guy. Always great interview. Good with the media. Always wins the Dino Lucarelli Good Guy Award. That would be a big loss though, because it's not easy to replace that kind of consincity and greatness.
No.
And you drafted for it. You
so
prepared, but. There have the indications from when Zinter was playing is that he was not ready this year. Now, if in the event that Joel retired, you need him ready for next year, and there's a lot of time to make improvements and changes to the body. And remember, he's coming off the broken leg and all of those things. But that's why they drafted him in the third round.
Him happened in the Ohio State game, right?
That's when he broke his leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was he didn't have like a full year.
No. No,
because wasn't the issue his anchor? Wasn't that kind of the problem?
Yes, that's been the problem so far in the NFL. Yes, so you would imagine that he's going to have a full off season at full health to get stronger and work on all these things.
Yeah, you can. I just pulled it up just to see because if this is it for him, I would love for him to get a great send off from the folks. And I'm certainly not here to tell you how to spend your money. It's your money and deal with it however you want, but. Right now on the site I'm on, you can get in for $14 if you want, So, be nice to give him to send him out at least with a big ovation. At this point in the year, obviously for us, it's you can't tell anybody in the room that they're going to go out there and give everything they can to win, but it's obviously not beneficial as a franchise to do so. But it would be nice to get him a big ovation coming out.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll announce, hopefully we'll do an offensive announcement. And if it's – I don't think he knows, though. I didn't get a sense from his comments yesterday that this is a foregone conclusion at all.
No. I kind of read it similarly to Miles. Like, obviously Miles is not considering retirement or anything, but from the standpoint of, like, I really want to know what the plan is here.
Yep.
So that's something that's going to have to be communicated. Those are your hot topics of the day, presented by University Hospital, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Coming up next, Z sits down with Isaiah McGuire. We'll take Coach live at the podium when that happens as well here on a Football Friday edition. We are presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Rumpke Waste recycling leader, invests over $100 million to build North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Ohio. Visit Rumpke.com to learn more about tours and how this facility helps grow our circular economy. Now here's Z with Isaiah McGuire.
Very happy now to be joined by Browns defensive end Isaiah McGuire. Isaiah, go to Cincinnati, come back with a sack. Good news, that's on the schedule every single year. How did it feel to go down there and get another sack and get to Joe Burrow?
Oh, man, it felt really good, especially in the moment, especially with it being, 3rd and goal, I believe, and, us just, as a defense, giving our offense another chance to, do something for sure.
This year's got to have been, for you personally, so much fun because it's, one of the things, you come in as a rookie, you are the man in college, and then you come in as a rookie and it's like, well, maybe you'll play, maybe you'll be active. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then now, because of a variety of reasons, injury, trades, all that, it's been your opportunity.
Yes, sir.
How much easier is it when you know, all right, I'm going to play? Because I would imagine if, let's say you get 10 snaps a game, you're going to try to do maybe too much just subconsciously. But now when you know, all right, I'm in here for the game, I can just play.
Yeah. Definitely a little bit more easier on the mind to where I can just, truly focus on, the matchups and, different offensive formations and things of that sort. That just kind of calms me, relaxes me a little bit more to where I can go play free.
What do you think is the biggest difference kind of as you've evolved here into your second season and being like a full-time starter?
I think, truthfully, it's just the feel for the game, honestly. Like I said, just the speed of the game is continuously slowing down bit by bit. I'm starting to get more used to just working different stuff more. Like I said, just love being out there with my teammates.
When you think about kind of the off season, I'm sure like when you left, they're like, okay, this is what we would like you to work on, or here's the plan for you. When you think about from that day, the work you put in to get to where you are now, was that kind of on the right track? And then obviously a new D-line coach comes in and Joxie's there. It seems like that has been working very well for you. Just kind of that path of development and then getting to actually do it.
Definitely. Based off the feedback that I got, towards the end of my rookie year, exit meetings per se, I was told that, they believe in me and things of that sort, just continue to work hard and, continue to stay on the path that I am, which is like hard work and, adding the right things to my regimen and keeping the right people around me. So to see that start to pay off is truly a blessing.
How much different is it from college in terms of film study, in terms of the specifics for your body and recovery and all of those things? I know in the SEC, obviously you guys it's a very advanced college program, but this is your job. This is full-time. This is what you do.
Yeah, definitely. The main difference, obviously, is no academics. And, with the season being longer, definitely the attention to your body and, how your body recovers and how you eat. And all those different sorts of things. Film study has always been film study, but obviously without academics, you have more time for film study. So adding on those different types of things just to help me become a better player is valuable.
What's it been like for you working now with a lot of young guys getting an opportunity on that line? And we'll talk about Miles in a second, but being next to Mike Hall or Jawan Briggs, those guys in their first seasons and both they're playing what Mike Hall's playing. It's fun watching when you guys are out there together. What's that been like, kind of having these younger guys and being like, I was a rookie too. And just wait till you get to where I am now, another year with all that knowledge.
Yeah, man, it's really cool to see them out there, especially being productive. Since I didn't, necessarily have the same, you could say, impact as they have provided the defense as a rookie. So it's truly amazing to see them do that. Also, it's fun to be out there, just with us being, the younger people. And, us talking about, what we learned from, our vets in the room and just seeing it go out there and play out. It's awesome.
Yeah, you've got great vets in the room. And a lot of times you're out there, you and Mike could be out there with, Miles and Dalvin. And you got two very established guys.
Very much
First of all, let's talk about Miles. Gets to 100 sacks.
Yeah.
First person to ever do it before he turned 29.
Yeah.
What's it like being in the room with him? And now that you're out there with him a lot, what are some of the things that maybe he's told you or you've picked up from him?
Man, it's really awesome, for him to, have that staple in the NFL, continue to go on that trajectory, just be the same guy every day and, always tries to help the younger guys in the room, especially on the field, just encouraging me and, just being in tune with the game and kind of just seeing what he may do when I'm not necessarily in, when he's in, and, seeing how he may approach something that, will help me approach it when I'm out there and I see that same thing. So for sure.
I'd imagine he can help a lot on kind of the mental side. Well, here's what I see on tape or that, but sometimes it's got to be hard because he's like, his body does things that other people's bodies don't do. So yeah, that's nice that works for you, but the rest of us mortals, it's tough to emulate some of the things he does out there.
Man, he, like I said, he's, definitely God gifted, as we all are. But, with him, it's just, it's truly remarkable to see an athlete like him, but also to put in the work that he has. So it's truly remarkable to see that.
So Shelby Harris was on Hard Knocks last week, and he was in your D-line room, and he's basically like, this is the evaluation period. This is, am I a part of the solution? Am I a part of the problem? And that is probably as real as you'll ever get
For sure.
in a setting like that. As a young guy for you, I'm sure your ears perked up when you heard that, and you're like, yeah, he's telling the truth. And you're certainly make a great case, say, I'm definitely part of the solution here. Was that something that really resonated when you heard him say that kind of in that meeting?
Definitely, absolutely. I definitely wanted to establish myself, especially once, Zadarius was traded. But, hearing that was, it was reality for all of us. And I definitely, want to continue to prove that I am a part of the solution and not a part of the problem, and that I will be a great player and continue to develop into that.
Why do you have such a knack at knocking the ball out?
I don't know. That's God, man. I don't know.
It's not like you're watching punch-out techniques or all. It's just been worked out.
It's just worked out.
All right, well, keep doing what you're doing,
Yes,
I would
sir.
say, on that front. All right, final home game, last chance in front of our home fans to get a win. Obviously, we know what the season has been, and it's not what everybody had hoped for. How important is it to you on Sunday to go out there and put on a good show for these fans?
Very important. One, like I said, they spent their hard-earned money to come out and support us, and it would be wrong for us to not go out and do our part and the showing up aspect. So very important, not only for them but for us also, to continue to build and continue to take positives from the season.
Are you a big Christmas guy?
Big family Christmas. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I love Christmas. I'm sad it's over, to be perfectly honest with you. Did you have a good Christmas? I know it's different, right? It's work. It's some work and some Christmas.
I did have a good Christmas. I would definitely say this is one of my favorite Christmases.
What made it so good?
I was able to see some of my family.
That's
So
awesome.
That was beautiful.
Do you guys have any traditions, like any family traditions?
I wouldn't necessarily say any family traditions, just more so just an environment filled with love and support and laughter that I hold valuable.
Yeah, it's the best, right?
Absolutely.
These are the special times, as they say.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Well, we are certainly thankful for you and all that you've done for the Browns this season, and I'm sure you're excited to keep it rolling here.
Yes,
So good
sir.
luck on Sunday, and let's go, baby.
Glory to God. Thank you.
All right, there you go. There's Z and Isaiah McGuire joining Z there. We should have Coach here momentarily. A couple of things from an
I
injury
believe
report.
Coach might be at the podium. Kev,
Okay,
do you
He's at
have
the
him?
podium.
Let's go to Coach.
Down.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, great challenge this week. Unique challenge with this group. The things that they do on their offensive side of the ball with the pre-snap motion and the speed. Defensively, I think they do a great job in a variety of ways, but they're big and long up front with great length. They've got great movement, bunch of different things they can throw at you. It's a good special teams group, coached really well. So a group that certainly we respect, and then we have to go play our best brand of football to go find a way to win in front of our fans. We're excited about the opportunity to go play one last time down there on the lake in front of our fans. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Cameron, was Obo hurt against the Bengals?
Yes.
But Jameis is questionable. If he's okay, will he be the number 2?
Yes, if he's okay, yeah. Still working through that.
Who will be your kicker Sunday?
Dustin.
Why go with him after giving him the week off when you had the practice squad kicker a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I think regardless if we have a practice squad kicker on the roster or not, really just he's our kicker, like I've told you guys. He's going to continue to work through this like he does, like any player works through technique things. He's working very hard, and he kicked it really well today. I expect him to kick it really well on Sunday.
With the 3 guys who are out, will you have to use IR to bring anybody up? Are any of those guys to bring anybody up?
I don't believe so.
And with Dustin, it seemed like the bye week, with him sitting out, you thought that was pretty confident that he was going to get back to form, and it just didn't happen.
I think with any position, doesn't matter if it's kicker, if it's offensive line, linebacker, you're constantly working on your technique. That's no different here with a veteran that's working on his craft, getting that swing grooved. Obviously, didn't hit the ball how he wanted to the other day, but he continues to work at it, and we'll, like I told him, we'll support him and we'll work through it together.
I know he doesn't have a game status, but how did Dorian come through with the calf and everything, and how has he looked the last
Yeah,
few
has looked good.
Kevin, we don't always see this kind of patience with kickers. So where does your obviously you had that great year last year, so that's probably part of it. Where does that belief in Dustin come from?
Yeah, demonstrated ability. He's a veteran. I've seen him do it for us. I've seen him do it in his career. Like a lot of kickers, sometimes you have you got to go through it a little bit, but it doesn't change how hard he's working. to get through this. But yeah, veteran guy who's seen a lot in his career.
Kevin, what can you guys do this week to kind of make Dorian's life a little easier so he can get into the flow of the game a little faster than he did last week?
Yeah, I think it's more incumbent on the team to start fast. Obviously, that helps your quarterback when you can put some points on the board, early in a game, and not put yourself in a hole early. I think that certainly contributes to how you play as an offense.
Kevin, he's really got the ability to pull it and go on those RPOs. What did you think of his decisions on that last week, and what kind of what does that give you guys going forward?
Yeah, it's a real threat when you have that quarterback back there. Kevin Rogers, our coach here, always says when the quarterback hands it off, that's now 11 on 10. If you don't have a real viable guy, and with Dorian, it's really an 11 on 11 football. They have to account for him really in all those run schemes, and that's like a lot of quarterbacks in this league. I think you're seeing guys that are very viable threats in the run game, and it certainly contributes to run game success.
Kevin, I know you're on this year, and Joel said he's not thinking about next year, but regardless of what happens, what has he just meant to this building and to you these last 5 years?
Yeah, obviously I wasn't here for the beginning part of his career, but just seeing him these last 5 seasons, first of all, I'll talk about the person first. Just an amazing person, a guy I rely on a ton when talking about things that have to do with this football team, and just the way he leads. I'm always leaning on him. The player, looks like a Hall of Fame career to me. I don't think I'm hoping this is not his last few games. I think he's got a lot left in the tank. And I say that this is a really, really good football player, and I've seen some really good ones that he's right up there.
Is he like Steve Hutchinson, or were they different players?
They're different players. Steve was much more of the gap scheme, downhill mauler, quote unquote. And I think Joel's just so athletic. The things that he's been able to do over the course of his career, he never gets in a bad spot. He's always moving his guy and has recoverability to get to the second level. But he's an incredible athlete.
Kevin, Tua is one of the better quarterbacks and been one of the better quarterbacks in the league against pressure. What do you see when you watch him on film in terms of that helps him, kind of handle the pressure,
I'd say the ball comes out so fast. I think that's what helps the pressure. It's hard to, you can blitz him, and sometimes you get there. Sometimes that ball's, whistling out of there because that's just how fast they play. And he makes really, really quick decisions, and he has a very, very quick release.
How much pressure does that put on your secondary when he's getting it out so fast and there isn't a lot of time to send that pressure?
Yeah, I think they certainly, this scheme puts pressure on every part of your defense. It's not just the secondary. I think everybody contributes to trying to slow this group down. I think they do a great job getting the ball in the perimeter in a variety of ways, run game, screen game, you name it. Then they do a really good job working the middle of the field as well.
Where was set at in the protocol, and does it, at this point, since he's out this game, make sense just to shut him down for the rest of the year?
I'm not going there. I'm really just focused on where he is right now, and he's continuing to progress.
How do you coach up Dorian to still be aggressive and use all of his skills, but also try to stay interception-free this game?
Sure. I mean, I think it goes back to Mary Kay being smart and aggressive. You don't want to just be conservative for the sake of being conservative, but you have to understand how important the ball is in these games, how important possession is in these games. So, still continue to play his style. Make sure he's doing everything in his power to move the football for our football team and score points, but at the same time, not letting them get their hands on it.
Without David said, who do you need to step up for Dorian in this game?
I think it's always a group effort in that regard. Mary Kay, I think we really trust our group. We trust the receivers. We trust the tight ends that we have up. We got a good group of running backs up, so the quarterback has to deliver the ball based on what the coverage is dictating, and we trust the guys that the ball's going to.
Kevin, I saw that Mike said that Anthony Walker's not going to play Sunday. For you,
I didn't see that.
For you, obviously knowing Anthony from this time of year, disappointing not to get the,
Is he injured? Okay,
said,
I didn't know that. Got it.
I just said that he wasn't. Mike said he wasn't going to play. He's hurt.
Okay. A guy I think very highly of. I'm regretting letting him sit in all those quarterback meetings over the years. He's popped in there and sat in there for many, many meetings, and I'm regretting that fact. But he's one of my favorites, just a quintessential pro. He's the guy in the middle of the defense. He's the guy, in the middle of the locker room, just at the center of everything. I think he's made plays when he's out there on the football field, but just the impact that he has in the building has been pretty incredible.
When guys are like that, Kevin, I mean, I know Anthony's the son of a coach. Are they generally always that way? Or do guys kind of, as they get in a pro routine, do they kind of grow into that?
I think the son of a coach certainly has a lot to do with it, and Anthony has talked a lot about that. But he's a gym rat. He loves the game, and again, just his thirst for knowledge. You can ask quarterbacks. He would pop in there and sit in there and just listen, not really ask questions, but just hear what was being talked about. And he's a cerebral player. You so often hear quarterbacks being talked about being cerebral. When you're the middle linebacker and you're in the nerve center, you have to be cerebral, and he certainly is.
Good.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, there you go, Coach, from the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. And join us Sunday for against the Dolphins to cheer on the Browns towards a victory with our friends at Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's is proud to support the Cleveland Browns through the Tito's Victory Vodka program, committing a $1,000 donation to the Cleveland Animal Protective League towards its mission to foster compassion and end animal suffering. Thank you, Tito's. Sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly. A lot to get to on the injury front. We'll do some over-unders coming up next as well. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Filter, the official gutter guard of your Cleveland Browns. Go to leaffilter.com/GoBrowns to schedule your free gutter inspection and receive your exclusive promo offer, or call 833-LEAF-FILTER today. Z, we had a chance to discuss Chief out, Obo out, Tillman out. That's one's a big red flag. Man, that's a long time he's been out.
Yeah, for Cedric Tillman, that'll be his, fifth straight game that he's missed?
Jeez.
It's scary. Like, that starts now.
That is
You're
very
starting to
scary.
ask questions about when and if. I mean, and the weird thing is, I've talked to him. He feels fine. So there's something going on that is affecting his ability to get out of the concussion protocol, even though he himself feels fine.
That's wild. And this coming on the heels of Mary Kay. I want to give proper credit. I'm pretty sure it was her this morning with the story on JOK, how he's trying to stay connected while also looking for specialists.
Yeah, Jason Tarver talked earlier today.
Yeah, oh, Jason, that's right.
Yep.
Coach Tarver. Yeah.
Coach Tarver's talked earlier today.
presser.
Yeah, I mean, it's – you think about it just kind of young guys that you thought were at least going to be a part of the core, that you wanted to be able to see over the end, obviously JOK. Then you talk about, DeJuan Jones. Mm-hmm. You talk about an Alex Wright. You talk about now Cedric Tillman. These are the guys that you wanted to be able to get these opportunities at this point in the season. Even Mike Hall's back recently, but he missed a great portion as well. Yeah. That's unfortunately where you're at. That's what's exciting. That's what is you're trying to find out, what's going on. Yeah, it's frustrating. And on the said Tillman front, I mean, it's stunning. That was on a Thursday night game against the Steelers when this happened.
Right.
Which I'm trying to get the number of days ago.
November 21st is when he went out.
Wow.
November 21st. I mean, and it's almost the new year.
Correct.
Boy.
Yeah, you wanted to see these guys. You also needed to.
Yeah.
You needed to see, it
it's
was feeling like
over,
he was turning a corner.
Yeah, it's like 35, 36 days.
Well, it's 9 days in November, and it'll be 29 and, Wow.
Yeah, it stinks. That part really stinks. Gibby, what do you think about a Sunday forecast and a quick keys, and then we do over-unders at 2:15? What do you think of that?
I love everything that you're saying. That makes you a award-winning broadcast.
Every once in a while. Your Sunday forecast, high of 49, 85% chance of rain. It will be wet, but it will be very temperate and quite warm for this time of year. Z, what are your keys?
I can tell you, G-Man's got that wrong. It's going to be pushing 60 at one point, an hour or two away from kickoff on Sunday. I think we're going to be in
what is the G-Man doing? I mean, can we get the kid a Doppler?
I mean, he's working downstairs waiting on Miles.
I can't even yell at him.
Last week, the sun was almost down before Miles talked.
This says on a high of 55.
Okay.
I'm looking at
that's really warm.
I'll sign up for that.
But it does dip, to be fair to the G-Man, because he's giving you the game time temperature. It is into the high 40s by kickoff.
Because the sun goes down at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. It will be warmest at about noon or 1.
Great. We'll be 4 hours from kick.
Yeah, so get the respect on the G-Man's name there.
Yeah. All right, Z, what are your keys?
Look, you cannot win in the National Football League when you turn the football over the way we are. The Browns have turned the football over now 18 times in the last 5 games. 18 times in the last 5 games. 3 at least in all 5 of them, and 3 at least in 6 of the last 7. You can't win that way. You cannot consistently win that way in the NFL. And no surprise, you may say, oh, that's not a surprise. The Browns are 1-6 in those games. You've got to take care of the football first and foremost. Now, what's crazy is the Browns in the first, 7 weeks of the season never turned the football over 3 times in a game. And in fact had 1, 2, 3, 4 of the first 7 games, they had 1 giveaway or no giveaways.
Yeah.
This is
wild.
Oh, it's ludicrous is what it is. Yeah. It's ludicrous to turn the football over as much there. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have got to limit the explosives from a team that hasn't been as good at it this year, but is a team that is built on explosives. Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert can both take it to the house on the ground. Devin Achane can take it to the house as a pass catcher. Jonnu Smith can hit explosives as a tight end. And then, of course, there's Jalen Waddle and there's Tyreek Hill. And I realize Tyreek Hill has not been the player this year that he has been in years past, but if you blink and sleep on him, he's going to run right by you. So we cannot – I think you've got to limit the explosives and try to make them matriculate the ball down the field. And then the other thing I think is going to be it's imperative to get the ground game going, which takes some of the pressure off of DTR and then also allows for that play-action game. Now, it's going to be very hard. This is a big, big five-man front. There go 300, 335, 307 on the three, and then their outside ends. Emmanuel Ogbah, 6'4", 275. The Browns' second-round pick in 2016. And then Chop Robinson on the other side, 6'3", 255. So this is a big five-man front that you're going to be trying to run into, a very big five-man front.
Our good buddy Armando Salguero going to join us coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. BM, the preferred provider of copiers and document services for your Cleveland Browns. They'll tackle any size office. That number is 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. Time to head behind enemy lines with our good buddy Armando Salguero. Covers the NFL, of course, for Outkick and a great, great friend of the program. I always want a weather report from you first, and this might be one of the rare chances where we're in the vicinity of you. Very temperate here. What do you got in South Florida, my friend?
Brr! It's in the 70s. Ooh.
Oh, gosh. We're close. We're close. We're in like the mid-50s. We could hit 60 tomorrow, buddy.
But yet still so far.
Wow. That's amazing. That is impressive. That is the upset of the week.
It is. Yeah, you don't need to pack a parka for this one. Just a rain jacket. That's it. Take us through... we're taking a look at this as we're now 2 weeks left, and they're hanging on to slim chances, obviously, Miami is. Is this season from 30,000 feet as simple as when Tua went down, it all went to heck, and they couldn't quite ever dig out of it, or is there more to it?
Well, there's more to it, but, of course, that will be the argument that will be made by the folks whose, jobs are on the line.
Yeah.
At the end of the season, and it'll be, hey, it's not our fault. Injuries happen, and concussions happen to Tua Tagovailoa. And when stuff like that happens, what team is going to recover from losing its starting quarterback, as Browns fans are very familiar. But underneath that, here's the I guess, not the truth, although it is true, but here are more facts. When you have a quarterback who has a history of concussions, you need to have behind him a capable quarterback with some experience who you can hand the reins of the offense to and say, hey, in small sample sizes, save us. And the Dolphins clearly didn't have that this year. They trusted Skylar Thompson, who was a late-round pick 3 years ago, who had started like 3 games in his career and was over. And he was the backup. And he came out, and he lost, and lost, and lost, and then got injured. Let me put it to you this way. Skylar Thompson isn't even on the team anymore. He got waived, okay? So somebody made a bad evaluation on what they had behind Tua. Also, this is a team that has a very good record against teams that are not playoff worthy, not playoff caliber, and generally not over 500. And against teams that are playoff worthy, are playoff caliber, and generally are winning teams, they have a terrible record. It's something like 1-14 in the last 2 years, with or without Tua Tagovailoa. And that is the frustration of Miami fans in that, they're vying and talking about making a playoff push and sneaking into the playoffs and doing stuff. And everybody says, yeah, but every time you play a team that's going to be in the playoffs, you get, stomped. And so what good is that? And so, yeah, the first part is true. They're in tough straits when Tua's not present, but there are underlying and mitigating reasons that there's concern.
Yeah, and listen, they do have a winning record too, but to your point, the wins against Jacksonville, the Patriots twice, Vegas, the Jets, and then the surprising wins would be at the LA Rams in Week 10, and then they beat the Niners last week. Not that that's surprising. The Niners season has not gone the way they wanted it to. The one thing, though, that jumps out to me about this year's team is just the lack of explosiveness in the offense, especially from, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who are both having down seasons. Tyreek Hill basically half off of his pace of 1,700 yards the last 2 seasons. What's happened to that vertical passing game? And it started with a bang. I remember Tyreek caught a long touchdown in Week 1 against Jacksonville, but since then, he's almost been kind of invisible at times.
Yeah, I feel like I hear myself talk, and I sound like a head coach in that I'm going to tell you, It's a number of things. It's
Yes.
a lot of things. It's never one thing with Tyreek. Look, he's hurt. He has a wrist injury that supposedly is going to require some surgery in the offseason, but he decided he wanted to play, and so he's playing with it. Secondly, defensive coordinators, they're not stupid. They get paid. And so they've decided, you have a very explosive offense, as the folks in Cleveland are saying, but we've decided not to get blown up. And so we're going to play, too deep. We're going to shell coverage. We're going to umbrella you. We're going to do things that don't make us turn the tape on Monday and see 70-yard connections. And we're going to turn the tape on Monday and not see you scoring 70 points like you did last year against Denver. We're not doing that. And so the Dolphins have had to decide, well, we got to be able to run the ball, which they really aren't doing so great, and we have to be patient, which is up to the quarterback, who sometimes gets impatient.
Talking to the great Armando Salguero, covering the NFL at Outkick and a great friend of the program. I want to do a big picture NFL one with you because obviously you're covering the league at large. This week's half done, and then this week, and then one to go. Who are teams that you really like the look of them as we're heading into the postseason?
Let me see. There's a team that's 15-1.
But they've got by all year.
That is true. They won the last two Super Bowls, and they've given no indication that they're not going to win this one. So I like them. I go with that.
Isn't it something with them, though?
It's amazing.
Like they're going to have 24 days between games. They haven't really blown anybody out until recently. Now they kind of have. It's been just an odd year. It's like one of the most strange 15-1 teams that you ever see.
Absolutely. I think at some point or at one point they won 15 consecutive one possession or one score games. Guess what? They know how to win.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and stuff happens for them. And the haters will say, yeah, well, the referees happen for them. Well, yeah, but also field goal kicks for a win get blocked, or they doink off the top, the left, upright, or something happens, an improbable interception at the goal line, or maybe Andy Reid is a really good coach and Patrick Mahomes knows how to win at the end of games, and Travis Kelce finds the open area, and that defense with Steve Spagnuolo, designing it is really, really good. And all those things together, plus the fact that, oh, by the way, they're developing now. Xavier Worthy, who's a rookie, all of a sudden he looks like the real deal, and he's fast becoming one of Mahomes' favorite receivers, kind of like Rashee Rice, who was a rookie, did last year. It tells you that it's not luck. It tells you that Andy Reid gets his team to play better at the end of the year than they were at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they have been impressive. We saw them in a game where they turned us over 6 times a couple weeks ago. What do you think on the NFC side? AFC side, it feels to me like it's going to be one of 3 teams. Chiefs, which is, to your point, never bet against. Bills, Ravens. NFC feels a little bit more wide open. What do you make of that side of the conference, or that conference?
Yeah, I mean, everybody was loving on the Lions, of course.
Yeah.
And then their entire defense got hurt. I obviously exaggerate, but they do have like 5 guys, starters, all of them, who have been hurt at different points of the season, and a couple of them the entire season practically. So that the Bills game against them, in which Josh Allen lit them up, that was kind of an eye-opener. And yes, they are dominating teams like the Bears and others, but the Bears and others aren't going to be in the postseason. And so teams like the Bills are going to be in the postseason. So, there's questions about them. The most improbable story, in my opinion, is the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep. Yeah.
Who would have thought Sam Darnold, who was a bust with the Jets, got beat out for the starting job in Carolina, disappeared in San Francisco, would go to Minnesota as a backup, and he's got them. What is it? They're 13-1, 12-2. Yeah, 13-2. I mean, who had that on their bingo card? It's amazing. Kevin O'Connell is a quarterback whisperer. He knows how to get the maximum out of those guys, and it surely helps that they've got maybe the two best combo receivers on the block in Jordan Addison and the other guy.
The other guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the best.
Armando, there was a story I read or saw, at least kind of across the TV the last week, about Calais Campbell, that if in the event that the Dolphins get eliminated from the playoffs, which could happen before they even take the field against the Browns if the Chargers and Broncos win on Saturday, that they would release him and allow him to go pursue a title. What can you tell us about that and just his greatness? I mean, how is he still doing what he is doing in his 17th NFL season?
It's been discussed internally, and Calais Campbell would appreciate it if it were to happen. Obviously, he has very close ties to the Ravens.
Sure.
He has very close ties to Atlanta if they make it. But I'm not so sure that the NFL loves that whole deal.
Yeah.
That is a little icky because suddenly one team that is out is opening up free agency again in January. And that's a bad precedent as far as the NFL is concerned. So it's weird. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's been conversations from the league to the Miami front office about that possibility.
Great stuff as always, my friend. Thank you so much for your time. We greatly appreciate you.
Always a pleasure. God bless.
All right, there he is, the great Armando Salguero, senior NFL writer at Outkick. We'll do a little over-under, some scores as well. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. It's your game day this season with the Bally Bet Sportsbook app. Place your first bet at $25 or more, and you get $150 back in bonus bets. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for a little segment we like to call Over or Under. And we have, in the words of the great Bill Pito, a developing situation.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
Music to my ears.
With a robust 2-3, improves himself to 40-36. 4 games over. Dr. Z, 1-4.
Perfect.
38 up, 38 down. It all came down to Jamar Chase fantasy points. Jamar Chase fantasy points. You want to know the crazy thing? I set the over-under completion percentage at Dorian Thompson-Robinson at 58.5.
Yep.
He was 58.8.
Yep. That's pretty good by you. By the way, would Jamar Chase have won if it weren't for that long touchdown at the end?
I didn't look.
No, he had
at that.
Then he only have
he ended up 97 and a touch.
Yeah, and he got so he would have been at 60 without a touchdown.
60 without a touch. The fact that that it would have been close, let me pull it up. What would we have been with our receivers without it?
You didn't give Chief?
No Chief.
I don't even know if they would have made it. Probably. Judy had 20.
Elijah.
Yeah, maybe not.
All right, I got it pulled up. So Elijah had 21. Judy had 20. That's it. So 4.1. So even without the long one, it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, that did it. All right. So obviously the over-unders are a challenging endeavor this time of year because you don't know what you're getting. You don't know who's showing up. So
they seem to be doing just fine.
You have a 2-game lead with what amounts to 10 games to play, Gibbe. 2-game lead with 10 to play. But you lead it off. That's one of the privilege of expectations, my friend. You lead it off. Tua Tagovailoa, completions. Gibbe, 22.5.
So the number I came up with was 22. So the weather's not great. I'm going to go under. Just barely.
For Gibbe.
Over.
Strategy.
Over. Listen, the guy completes the highest
percentage. He was 22 last week, and he had the only time he's been under this was like in early November. He had 20.
Well, that would have been helpful.
Well, you have all this information. His last few games have been 28, 29, 37, 33, 29.
Yeah.
Next.
I'm still going under.
Good.
Over,
down
under.
All right.
I'll remind you of that Sunday.
Achane fantasy points, over, under, all of our backs combined. Achane or everybody who's a running back.
PPR or not?
Nah, traditional.
Traditional?
Yep.
Let's go, fantasy boy. What do you got?
It's really him against Ford. So I'll take Achane.
All right. Over.
Same.
He's going to say same no matter what I say.
Under.
No, that's Achane's playing really good football.
Myles Garrett sacks, Gibbe. Myles Garrett sacks. He's trying to get to 14. The number is 1.5.
Over. Let's go.
Tua gets it out so quickly. He's going to get 1 in this game. He's going to get 1 the last one. Under.
Oh, my God. This week could be it. This could be a absolute bell cow week. Next.
Over, under.
Dr. Z, sacks and turnovers. You both got this, by the way, last week. The number is 3.5.
Under.
Gibbe?
Over.
Oh, my God. This is our Pets Heads Are Falling Off edition. Next.
Over, under.
Here we go, Big Daddy.
The actual 39.5. Give it.
Under. What are you going to do, Pookie?
Same.
Yeah, he's got to. All right, 3 differences. This could be the week that defines the competition. This could be it. All right, we'll do a little segment we like to call Pay Attention to the Scores. It's coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Elk & Elk Serious Lawyers, Serious Injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk & Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for a little segment we like to call Do Pay Attention to the Scores.
Yes, yes. Pay attention to the scores. Coming into this week, combined 54 games over 500 as we really have rallied. Middling week last week, 9-7, 8-8, but off to a good start, 2-1, 2 up, 1 down so far this week. Thanks a lot,
That's
Seahawks.
right.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, just cruds, just total cruds.
Total cruds.
Awful. Awful.
Shall we dance?
We were waiting
Let's
for you,
do it.
Gibbe. We were waiting for you to join the dance floor.
All right.
What is that from? What is the movie that's from Let's Dance Blankweed?
I don't know, but I like it.
Why am
Same.
I blanking on that?
Week 17.
I'm at home, so I can.
You can Google that.
In the National Football
Anchorman.
League.
Anchorman. Anchorman. That's right.
By the way,
Who says it? Who says it? Ron Burgundy or does
I think it's
Vince
Burgundy.
Vaughn?
I think it's Papa Burgundy.
Papa Burgundy? I can see Vince
it's
Vaughn
Papa
sending
Burgundy.
it to him, saying it to him, the newsman.
Actually, it might be.
Wes Mantooth?
It could be Wes Manstooth. Yeah.
I don't remember. I have not seen that movie.
No, it's
Ever?
Burgundy.
In a
It's
while.
Papa Burgundy.
No, in a while.
It's Burgundy?
Papa Burgundy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is he saying it to Wes Mantooth?
He's staying at 2 Mantooth.
Yeah, good.
All right, away we go. Saturday triple header games on NFL Network. Shout out to our own
Chris Rose.
Rose, who will be on a call.
Yeah, baby.
I believe he has Chargers at Patriots. Los Angeles. It is a win, and you are in. Chargers in New England. Zagura, kick us off.
Chargers by 1 billion.
We sure? The
We
Patriots
just
could be
referenced-
frisky.
Drake May's really good. I think Drake. If I saw McShay was redrafting the quarterbacks after what he saw in year one, he'd go Daniels, May, then Williams.
Yeah.
So do with that what you will. I think Kayla was put in such an awful position, but that's a whole other segment. I'm with you. And we mentioned Vaughn. Comfortable comes from the movie that he did called Made, which was kind of the sister-brother movie to Swingers that him and Favreau did that not as many people have seen, but which is equally hilarious. So I like the Chargers. Comfortable. Easy in this one.
Patriots had it going last week. They were up like 14-0 on Buffalo, and then it just like all fell apart. I think that was like they got up big for that game. I don't think they're going to get up very big for this game.
No.
Next, the middle game of the day and the best game of the day. The Bengals playing host to the Denver Broncos. Broncos win, and you are in. The last time they were in the playoffs, 2015. Cincinnati 0-7 versus teams with winning records. Bo Bishop.
Well, make it 1-7. They're not going to lose this. Not losing this one at home. The crazy thing about them is this is going to be a revenge served best cold because Denver's going to play. I imagine they're going to play a next to nobody playing in Kansas City next week. So I like Cincinnati. I think they win. I think it's a really competitive game. I like Denver a lot, but I like Cincinnati winning maybe 31-24, 5, 6, something like that.
The last time the Denver Broncos clinched a playoff spot, the year, as Gibbe had said, was 2015. They clinched their playoff spot on December the 28th.
Oh, baby.
They were coming off of a 34-27 loss the week before. Their opponent on December the 28th was the Cincinnati Bengals. It was the second to last week of the season. This Saturday, the Broncos play the Bengals on December the 28th, coming off of a 34-27 loss in the second to last week of the season. Thus, it is destiny. The Broncos win this one outright, 27-26.
Did the Cincinnati Bengals have Burrow and Chase then?
They did not.
Did the Broncos have Peyton Manning? Yeah, they did. Doesn't matter. Just like earlier this year in Chicago, the Seattle Mariners beat the Chicago White Sox 6-3. So did the Seattle Seahawks beat the Chicago Bears 6-3. Signs.
There you go. It's Kismet, the signs.
The signs.
And this game will probably determine what time we play the following week. So,
oh, my God, that's right.
Okay, so you say these things emphatically. What does that mean?
We're either going to play Sunday at 1 or Sunday at 4.
Okay, so I'm saying what
you
does...
could play Tuesday. Maybe you play Tuesday.
What does a Cincinnati win mean to you?
I think a Cincinnati win, if this is me just guessing, I think that puts us at 4 o'clock because that's Cincinnati-Pittsburgh and then us and Baltimore. Baltimore and Pittsburgh have to play at the same time because we're talking division crown and who gets a home game and who has to go on the road. And a lot could be decided. Like, there might not be a whole lot to talk about in Week 18.
Are there games on Saturday next weekend?
Can clinch, huh?
Are there games on Saturday?
There's one game Saturday at like 4:30 and one at like 8 o'clock.
And that can't be us?
I would think you would put the 2 and 2 together. That way the games still mean something.
Yeah, it's so strange because like even if you go on like NFL or like they don't even give Saturdays an option. They just show it as Sunday only.
Yeah.
No, they do. Give it. Yeah, they do. They go 1-4 or 1-5.
Yeah. There's
So,
2
yeah, they
Saturday, there's a Sunday slate, and I believe there's a Monday night.
Yeesh.
So, buckle up on that one. Up next, to round out the Saturday triple header, Arizona recently eliminated the Rams. A lot to play for. Los Angeles hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Rams still with work to do, Nathan.
Yeah, Rams are going to win this game, but it's not going to be a blowout. This isn't a classic Ram it. In the dome, Kyler running around, McBride, Harrison. There's enough there for Kyler to show up at the back door with a little gift at the end of the year for those on the Cardinal side of things. Rams win it 30-24.
I see it the same way. It just strikes me as a game where the Rams are just pros. I don't think they're going to be worried about sending messages. I think just get the win, be safe, and comfortable win, and that's it. But not comfortable enough for the scores.
To Sunday, 1 o'clock, another team that can lock up things and take care of business and probably rest guys in Week 18. The Buffalo Bills can lock up the number 2 seed. That would give them 2 home games, a wild card and a divisional, before having to go to Arrowhead. Bills can lock up the number 2 seed. They are 7-0 at home, and they host the hapless Jets. Bo Bishop.
Yeah, I just feel like when you get a chance at this Jets operation, and remember they beat the Bills earlier in this season. Or I'm sorry, the Bills won 23-20 earlier in this season. A tight game in that one. This one is in New York, correct?
No, it's in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo.
Oh, it's at Bill. Okay, yeah, at Bills.
Bills
okay,
are
Bills by
7-0.
$1 billion. Bills by $1 billion.
Zagura.
You have Bills by $1 billion?
Yeah.
I just think they can't get the number 1 seed now. They're just going to win and then be like, okay, we're good.
They can rest everybody in Week 18.
You can still be – they're going to win the game. But they could be up 14 in the fourth quarter, or in this case, they could even be up 15 in the fourth quarter. They could be up 16 in the fourth quarter and say, yeah, well, fine, whatever. And Rodgers is going to go ping, ping, pow, touchdown. That's how I see it. Bills 30, Jets 22.
Up next, the one of 2 candidates for the inmate game of the week, probably the front runner, Jacksonville 3-12 hosting 3-12 Tennessee. The game neither team wants to win. Nathan.
You can get into this for like $8.
Yep.
Listen, we need if the Jags win this game, I think we go up to the number 3 spot if we are unsuccessful against Miami. So I'm rooting for the Jags. Thus, Jags.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Jacksonville too in this one. They've at least been competitive the last few weeks. Last time out, they won in Tennessee 10-6. I went with them then. I'll go with them again. Give me Jacksonville to win.
I'm surprised that they're not favored at home when they've beaten Tennessee in Tennessee with basically the same teams.
Yeah.
Up
Maybe I'll
next,
come to
a
regret
team that does not control any part of their destiny. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after that loss to Dallas last Sunday night, 8-7 on the year. They just got to win out and hope some other things happen as well. Tampa Bay hosting that frisky Carolina Panther team. Panthers took down Arizona and knocked them out last week. Can they do the same on Sunday, Bo Bishop?
It's a lot. It's a lot of points.
It is a lot.
I like Tampa Bay winning. Last time out, this is a 3-point game. I think it's close again. So I like Tampa Bay winning. But I do like Carolina to hang in there a little bit. Give me Tampa Bay 31-27.
Last time they beat him by 30, and if Chuba Hubbard doesn't fumble, they lose outright.
Yeah.
This line makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. I think when I picked this one, I thought it was like going to be 4.
Yeah.
The absurd nature of this line feels as absurd as Atlanta laying all those points with Penix in his first start. Like, how can we say they're going to win by 8? And it was a beating. It feels like they know something that we don't know, because the prudent play here is 100% Carolina. Like, why can't they win this game outright? And you're getting 8? So it makes no sense to me. So I'm taking the Bucks to win 100-0.
Bo Bishop.
I already did.
Yeah, I did. Took Carolina.
Sorry, my bad.
You're good. You're good.
Next, the runner-up to the inmate game of the week, Las Vegas. 3-12 on the year, trying to do their best to screw up their draft chances. Raiders on the road in New Orleans to battle the 5-10 Saints. Who went first? Bo, you went first last time? Z, you're up.
Here's the thing. The New Orleans Saints right now are operating without an ability to throw the forward pass. But can the Raiders afford to win another game? Now, they shouldn't have won last time, but they did. So maybe they don't care.
Boy.
Maybe they don't care. So I can't. There's no way. This would be a total stay away, because we must. Raiders 2, Saints nothing.
Yeah, it's gross. This is a really gross game. New Orleans at home, last home game. I'm with you. I would never do this. I'll take New Orleans 3, Vegas 2.
Man,
but it's gross.
Fair enough. This one was a 4:00 game opposite us, and when they moved this week, Packers Vikings moves to 4:00. And Cowboys-Eagles moves to 1. Kenny Pickett will be your starter in Philly, which makes this number even crazier. No CeeDee Lamb for Dallas. Philly can clinch the division with a win or a Washington loss. Little note, it would be the 20th straight year no repeat division winner in the NFC East. Bo Bishop.
Yeah, this is a big one, especially with Pickett. It hasn't moved, and now all of these things. I see Eric Dickerson is cheering against Saquon Barkley to break his record, which, why wouldn't he? Like, by the way, Saquon's getting an extra game to break it, so I don't blame him at all. But that number's really big, and I'm gonna apply the same logic. I like Philly winning this one with Kenny Pickett, 21-10.
No CeeDee Lamb. I think that's the difference for me. If they had CeeDee Lamb,
if you had CeeDee Lamb and you're in a championship this weekend,
me. That team is just.
We may have to rethink fantasy football.
Completely fell apart.
We may have to.
I
rethink
didn't know
it,
that. I'm sorry.
We may have to have it end like week 16. The championship may have to be week 16.
I wish it was. I'd be the champion. I mean, look, I wasn't going to play him anyway because we knew with his shoulder, but. We have CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Brian Thomas. And so far, Nico Collins and Jack Smith and Jigba are on a milk carton. My team is in the dumps. It's very sad. Bones is going to get 5. 1 for the thumb.
What a dynasty.
It is a dynasty. You got to
tip your hat.
I mean, his team name's La Potencia, which is the potential. At this point, I think it's
realized.
It's quite realized, yeah.
Rounding out the 1:00 Sunday games,
Who did you go with? Oh, you went Philly, right?
Same as you.
Okay.
The Colts might not have anything to play for by Sunday. with L.A. and Denver. If both of those win on Saturday, the Colts are done. Season's over, which would make this then runner-up for the Inmate Game of the Week. It's the Fighting Yellowstones visiting the G-Men. Yellowstone, I think he was in New York last week. Weren't they? Didn't they take on the Jets last week?
I don't know.
I think it's back-to-back weeks. Indies had to go to New York.
They should have just stayed there.
Zagura.
I mean,
no, they were Titans last week.
The week before then.
Colts
they played the Jets probably 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Colts by $1 trillion.
Yeah. Dude, the Giants are not screwing this up.
Nope.
They're going to pick number 1.
Yep.
And they won't be anywhere near this. They will not be anywhere near this. I mean, they played one close game, and it was the Saints, who they lost 14-11. Everything else has been a beatdown forever. It continues. Colts by a zillion.
To the 4 o'clock game opposite us. Packers on the road in Minnesota. Packers 1-3 in NFC North games this year. That's an interesting little tidbit. Bo Bishop.
I think it goes to 2-3. It feels like Green Bay's got all the momentum in the world right now. I know that it feels like Minnesota, like you think about the Seattle game, like they're finding ways to get it done, but I think Green Bay might just be on a little bit of a different level. I like the Packers winning a classic 34-32.
Go Pack, go. I'm with you. I like that Packers team. I've liked them for a long time.
Sunday night foosball actually might be worth waiting up for. Michael Penix Jr., start number 2, taking on Jaden Daniels and the Commies. Commies hosting the Falcons. Washington can clinch a playoff appearance first time since 2020 with a win or a Tampa Bay loss. Zagura.
This is a real tough one for me.
Let's go. Navy just took the lead on Oklahoma.
Let's go. Go Navy.
Let's go. Anchors away, baby.
I like the Commanders here, but I think that, man, this is a big spot. It's one thing to play at home against a non-football team. It's another thing to go on the road. I think Washington's going to end up handling this one comfortable, like 27-20.
I don't know if
I'm going to go just a little opposite. I like Washington as well. I got it 27-24, though, winning that one. We'll do ours and also so much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And this Sunday on the University Hospital's Cleveland Browns Radio Network at noon, the Browns game day with Ken and Gerard at 2 o'clock. The kickoff show with Andy and Tyvis, and then at 4:05, that's right, 4:05, kids, kickoff from Huntington Bank Field with Z, Mr. Siciliano, and Gerard, all along the University Hospital's Cleveland Browns Radio Network. How do you see it, Dr. Z?
Listen, this is going to be a tall task. Good defense, top 10 in scoring, top 10 in total defense. We've been turning the football over. We haven't been playing winning ball. I'm going to have to go with right now. I'm going for the reverse jinx here because certainly we're on a little bit of a streak of predicting good things and not good things happening. So we're going with the reverse jinx here. Dolphins 24-10. Reverse jinx.
I'm all for the reverse jinx on that. Look, I mean, this is the thing that happens, though, when you're in
1 minute.
Guys in the room that are going to fight and play hard, and because they're pros. Remember, you play to win the game. I mean,
yes,
that's
you do.
there for a reason. And so they're going to give that type of effort, but on the peripheral, we're all sitting here going, it might be best if not. So that's the thing where you kind of war with each other at 4 o'clock down on the lake. If it is Joel Bitonio's last game, and that'll be a decision for later, but he
30.
Things. Let's give him a big ovation.
Yes.
On Sunday, one way or another.
Real quick, got to give a shout out to my buddy Joey's daughter Olive. Happy 10th birthday yesterday. 10th decade.
There you go.
Let's go.
A decade old. All right. The next level is coming up next. Have a great weekend, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.